Hello, and welcome back to the Sleepy Academy. You have arrived at your sanctuary for rest, a quiet corner of the digital world dedicated entirely to your peace of mind and the heaviness of your eyelids. If you are new to our academy, know that this is a safe space designed to help you let go of the day's burdens, to unwind your thoughts, and to drift gently into deep, restorative sleep. Tonight, we have a very long, very tranquil journey ahead of us. We are going to explore a landscape of pure relaxation, taking our time with absolutely no rush to get anywhere at all. Before we begin this extended voyage into slumber, I have a small request. If you find comfort in these long-form sleep sessions and appreciate the calm we try to create here, please take a moment to gently tap the like button. It helps other weary souls find this sanctuary. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Sleepy Academy so you always have a soft place to land each night. Now, make yourself completely comfortable. Adjust your pillows. Feel the weight of your blankets. Close your eyes and let us begin. Chapter 1: The Great Illusion of Stillness. Tonight, we are going to embark on a journey that requires no movement from you at all. In fact, the very essence of our story tonight begins with the profound comfort of lying still. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Unclench your jaw. Let the heaviness of the day sink into the mattress beneath you. Feel the quiet stability of the room, the solid ground of the floor, the unmoving silence of the air around you. It feels permanent, doesn't it? This stillness. It feels as though you are anchored in a safe, motionless harbor. But this feeling, this wonderful, heavy calm, is perhaps the greatest and most beautiful illusion the universe has ever conjured. While you lie there, perfectly still, you are actually traveling at speeds that defy imagination. You are a passenger on a vessel so large and so smooth that you cannot feel its engines. At this very moment, the room you are in, the building that shelters you, and the ground beneath the foundation are spinning. The earth is turning on its axis, carrying you through the dark at over 1,000 miles per hour. That is faster than the speed of sound, faster than a jetliner cruising at high altitude. But the journey doesn't stop there. While the Earth pirouettes in the dark, it is also sailing along a vast elliptical river around the Sun. In this orbit, we are rushing forward at nearly 67,000 miles per hour. And even beyond that, our entire solar system, the Sun, the planets, the moons, and the distant comets, is drifting together around the center of the Milky Way galaxy at nearly 500,000 miles per hour. We are racing through the cosmos. We are spinning, orbiting, and drifting all at once. It is a chaotic ballet of immense energy. And yet, look at the water in a glass on your nightstand. It is perfectly flat. Listen to the air in the room. It is perfectly silent. Your breath does not tremble. Your heartbeat remains steady. We are hurtling through the void, yet we feel as though we are frozen in a block of amber, safe and untouched. Why? How can something move so fast and yet feel so incredibly peaceful? Tonight, we drift into the heart of that mystery. We will explore the physics of this silence and uncover why the universe, in all its wild motion, has designed a pocket of calm just for us. To understand this, we must first appreciate the sheer scale of the motion we are ignoring. Imagine, if you can, looking down at the Earth from high above the North Pole. You would see the planet turning counterclockwise, a slow, majestic rotation. If you are near the equator, perhaps in Singapore or Ecuador, the surface of the world is carrying you a distance of 24,000 miles every single day. You are traveling the entire circumference of the world every 24 hours, without taking a single step. If you are further north or south, perhaps in London or New York, you are spinning, slightly slower, but still moving at hundreds of miles an hour. Yet nothing rattles. The plates in the cupboard do not shake. The birds resting in the trees are not thrown from their branches. This stability is a gift of physics, specifically a concept known as inertia, first described by Isaac Newton in the 17th century. Newton realized something profound about the nature of reality. He realized that motion itself is not what we feel. We only feel changes in motion. We feel acceleration. We feel deceleration. We feel the bump in the road or the sudden drop of an elevator. But we do not feel velocity itself. Think of being on a high-speed train, one of those sleek, magnetic marvels that glide over the rails. When the train is traveling at a constant speed, say 200 miles per hour, and the track is perfectly smooth, you can pour a cup of tea without spilling a drop. You can stand up and walk down the aisle. You can close your eyes and believe you are sitting in your living room. The motion is uniform. You, the tea, the air inside the train, and the seat you rest on are all moving together in perfect unison. There is no resistance, no friction against your skin, no sudden jolts to remind your inner ear that you are traveling. The Earth is the ultimate high-speed train, but its tracks are the vacuum of space, smoother than any rail ever built. There is no air outside our atmosphere to create drag. There is no friction in the void to slow us down. And because gravity holds the atmosphere tightly to the planet's surface, the air moves with us. The wind doesn't blow at 1,000 miles an hour because the air is a passenger, just like you. It is a seamless, eternal glide. This phenomenon is the reason our ancestors, for thousands of years, believed the Earth was stationary. When early humans looked up at the night sky, they saw the stars moving, wheeling overhead in a great dome. It felt intuitive to believe that we were the center, the unmoving stage upon which the universe performed. It took immense imagination and mathematical courage to realize that it was the stage itself that was turning. This constant, smooth rotation is a kind of lullaby. It is a rhythm so steady that biology has evolved to ignore it. Our inner ears, those delicate instruments of balance, are designed to detect the lurch of a stumble or the sprint of a hunt. They are tuned to the immediate, small-scale movements of survival on the surface. They were not built to detect the grand cosmic rotation of the planet itself. We are simply too small, and the Earth is too large. We are ants walking on a spinning carousel that is thousands of miles wide. The curve is too gentle, the turn too vast for our senses to register. But just because we cannot feel it, doesn't mean we cannot see it. If you know where to look, the spinning of the world reveals itself in the most quiet and elegant ways. In 1851, a French physicist named Léon Foucault decided to make this invisible motion visible. He didn't use a telescope or a rocket. He used a pendulum. Imagine a high, vaulted ceiling, like the dome of the Pantheon in Paris. Foucault suspended a heavy brass sphere from a wire more than 200 feet long. He pulled the bob back and released it, letting it swing back and forth in a slow, hypnotic rhythm. According to simple intuition, the pendulum should have continued swinging in the exact same line forever. But it didn't. As the hours passed, the crowd, watching in hushed silence, noticed something extraordinary. The path of the swing was slowly rotating. Minute by minute, the pendulum seemed to be twisting its direction, knocking over little pins that had been set up in a circle on the floor. But here is the secret. The pendulum wasn't changing its path. The pendulum was swinging true, obeying the laws of momentum. It was the floor that was twisting. The building, the city of Paris, the crowd of spectators, and the very ground beneath them were slowly rotating under the swinging weight. The Foucault pendulum allows us to watch the Earth turn. It is a clock that uses the planet as its gears. If you stand before one of these pendulums in a quiet museum today, you can lose yourself in the motion. Back and forth, back and forth. Each swing takes time, and in that time, the world beneath your feet moves just a fraction of a degree. It is a meditation on planetary motion. It reminds us that our stillness is only relative. We are riding a giant gyroscope, stable and relentless. This rotation does more than just confuse our senses. It protects us. It is the architect of our days and the guardian of our atmosphere. Imagine if the Earth did not spin. One side of our world would face the sun eternally, baking under a ceaseless noon, the oceans boiling into steam, the land scorched and barren. The other side would be locked in an endless, frozen night, where temperatures would plummet far below zero, and the atmosphere would condense into ice. But the spin, this gentle 24-hour rhythm, mixes the light and the dark. It distributes the warmth. It allows the plants to photosynthesize and then rest. It creates the winds that carry rain to the forests. It drives the ocean currents that regulate the global climate. The spin is the heartbeat of the planet's weather system. And deeper still, thousands of miles beneath the crust you are resting on, the spin is doing something even more vital. The Earth's core is a ball of molten iron, and because the planet is rotating, that molten iron swirls and churns. This churning creates a dynamo, a massive electrical generator that projects a magnetic field far out into space. This magnetic field is an invisible shield. It catches the dangerous radiation from the sun, the solar wind, and deflects it, guiding it harmlessly toward the poles where it blooms as the northern and southern lights. Without our spin, the core might settle, the shield would fade, and the atmosphere that allows you to breathe so softly right now would be stripped away by the solar storm. So, the rotation is not just a motion, it is a survival mechanism. It is the engine that keeps our world alive. As we drift deeper into this realization, we must expand our view. This tendency to spin is not unique to Earth. It is, in fact, the default state of almost everything in the universe. Look at the sun. It appears to be a static ball of fire, but it too is spinning, completing a full rotation roughly once a month. Because it is a ball of gas, it spins differently at its equator than at its poles, twisting its magnetic fields into knots that occasionally snap and release energy. Look further, to the stars twinkling in the velvet dark. Every single one of them is spinning. Some, like our sun, spin lazily. Others, the remnants of dead stars known as pulsars, spin at mind-bending speeds, rotating hundreds of times every single second,
faster than a kitchen blender, beaming light across the cosmos like frantic lighthouses. And bigger still, the galaxies. Our Milky Way is a majestic spiral, a pinwheel of stars and dust. It is not sitting still in the void. It is turning. It takes our solar system about 230 million years to complete one lap around the galaxy. The last time the Earth was in this position in the galaxy, dinosaurs were just beginning to rise. The continents on Earth were shaped completely differently. We have been traveling around this galactic carousel for eons, and we will continue to do so long after tonight. Why does everything spin? Why is the universe so restless? The answer lies in the very beginning of things, in the clouds of dust and gas that birthed the stars. When a cloud of cosmic dust begins to collapse under its own gravity, it never falls inward perfectly evenly. There is always a little clump here, a little drift there. As it shrinks, that slight imbalance turns into a rotation. And just like an ice skater pulling her arms in to spin faster, the collapsing cloud accelerates. By the time a star is born, the spin is locked in. By the time the planets form from the leftovers of that star, they inherit that spin. It is a conservation of energy, a memory of the motion that created us. The rotation of the Earth tonight is a fossilized movement, a relic from 4.5 billion years ago, when the solar system was nothing but a swirling whirlpool of potential. So, when you lie in bed and feel the stillness, you are actually feeling a perfect balance. You are feeling the result of billions of years of smoothing out. You are feeling the harmony of physics. There is a quote by the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson that captures this feeling beautifully. He said, "We are on a space rock that is orbiting a star, that is orbiting a galaxy, that is moving through the universe, and we call it home." Home. That is what this motion is. It isn't chaos. It isn't a roller coaster that you need to brace yourself against. It is a cradle. The forces of gravity and inertia have conspired to create a pocket of tranquility for you. They hold the atmosphere down so you can breathe. They keep the ground solid so you can sleep. They spin the world so you can have the cool of the night to rest and the warmth of the day to live. The illusion of stillness is the universe's way of letting life flourish. If we felt every mile of our speed, if we felt the lurch of the orbit or the drag of the galaxy, our minds would never settle. We would be perpetually dizzy, forever gripping the grass to keep from being thrown off. Instead, we are gifted with this sensation of permanence. As you breathe in slowly, appreciate the cleverness of this design. The air fills your lungs easily. The blanket rests heavy on your legs. The shadows in the room stay where they are. But in your mind's eye, you now know the truth. You can see the walls of your room not as static barriers, but as the hull of a great ship. You can visualize the stars outside your window not as fixed points, but as distant buoys passing by as we sail through the night. You are a traveler. Even when you are sleeping, you are exploring the galaxy. Even when you are dreaming, you are covering vast distances. There is no such thing as truly standing still. There is only moving together. And that is a comforting thought, isn't it? You don't have to do anything to move forward. You don't have to strive or push or plan. The universe is carrying you. It has been carrying you since the moment you were born,
and it will carry you through this night until the sun rolls back around to greet you in the morning. So let go of the need to hold yourself up. Let gravity do its work. Let inertia smooth out the journey. You are safe within this great spinning illusion. The motion is steady. The path is clear. The engine of the world is humming so quietly that it sounds like silence. But this brings us to a deeper question. If we are moving, and the Earth is moving, and the galaxy is moving, how did it all start? If stillness is an illusion, where did the first push come from? If we looked back, past the birth of the Earth, past the lighting of the sun, all the way back to the very first moment of time, would we find a universe that was still? Or was it born spinning? As we drift further toward sleep, let us turn our minds backward, against the flow of time, to the moment when the first rotation began. That is where our next chapter waits for us, in the twilight before the stars. Chapter 2: The First Whisper of Motion. Now that we have settled into the gentle rhythm of our spinning world, let us let our minds drift free from the room you are in. Let us float upward, past the roof, past the clouds, past the quiet orbit of the moon. We are going to travel backward, not just in space, but in time. Imagine that we can rewind the clock of the universe. Watch as the days and nights flicker past like the pages of a book flipping in the wind. Watch as the seasons blur together, turning the green of summer into the white of winter, and back again in a single breath. We drift back past the history of humanity, past the rise of the mountains, past the drift of the continents. We see the earth dissolve back into a swirl of dust. We see the sun unspool into a cold, dark cloud. We see the galaxies unwind, their spiral arms loosening, drifting closer and closer together in the deep, velvet dark. We are traveling back billions of years, moving toward the single, silent point where everything began. We are looking for the origin of the spin. We are looking for the very first moment motion entered the universe. If you could stand at the threshold of the Big Bang, not with your eyes, for there was no light yet, but with your sense of presence, what would you feel? The classical idea of the beginning is often described as an explosion, a violent burst of fire and noise. But in the language of deep cosmology, in the equations that whisper the secrets of creation, it was perhaps something different. It was an unfolding, a blossoming. And the question that haunts physicists and dreamers alike is this: was that first moment still, or was it born spinning? To understand this, we must shrink down, smaller than a planet, smaller than a star, smaller than an atom. We must go to the scale of the Planck era. This is a slice of time so thin it is almost impossible to comprehend. A fraction of a second so brief that the laws of physics as we know them dissolve into mist. In this era, the universe was not a vast expanse of stars. It was a single, infinitely dense point of pure potential. In this tiny, hot seed of reality, there was no empty space. There was only energy. And according to the strange and beautiful rules of quantum mechanics, energy can never be perfectly still. Even in a vacuum, even in the absolute nothingness, there is a jitter, tiny fluctuations,
little ripples of existence blinking on and off like fireflies in a summer field. So, even before the universe technically existed as a place, there was a tremble, a vibration, a subtle, underlying hum of movement. Then, the Great Expansion began. Cosmologists call it inflation. In less than the blink of an eye, space itself stretched outward faster than the speed of light. It took that tiny, microscopic jitter, that quantum tremble, and stretched it across the canvas of eternity. It took the microscopic swirl and blew it up into the architecture of the cosmos. Imagine a painter throwing a single drop of ink into a flowing river. At first, it is just a dot, but as the water catches it, the ink swirls. It stretches into long, elegant ribbons. It curls into spirals. It becomes a complex, flowing pattern that covers the entire surface. That is what happened to the universe. The first spin was not a giant wheel turning. It was a tiny quantum twist that got caught in the wind of creation and was written into the very fabric of the sky. We can still see the ghosts of this motion today. When astronomers look at the cosmic microwave background, the faint, ancient light that is left over from the Big Bang, they see a map of the oldest light in existence. It looks like a mottled pattern of slightly warmer and slightly cooler spots. But when they analyze these spots deeply, they find something strange. They see a pattern, a subtle alignment. Some scientists call it the axis of evil, a dramatic name for a quiet mystery. It suggests that the ripples in the early universe weren't just random chaos. They were organized. They seemed to point in a direction. They seemed to suggest that the infant universe had a preference, a tilt, a spin. It is as if the universe, in its very first breath, decided to turn. Why is this so soothing to think about? Because it means that motion is not an accident. It means that the spinning of the Earth, the orbiting of the Moon, and the blood pumping through your veins are all continuations of a single, uninterrupted gesture that began 13.8 billion years ago. There is a rule in physics, a law that is as close to sacred as science gets: the conservation of angular momentum. It sounds technical, but it is actually very simple and very beautiful. It means that spin cannot be destroyed. It can only be shared. It can only be passed down like an heirloom from one object to another. Think of a figure skater on a frozen lake. She begins to spin slowly, her arms stretched out wide. She is catching the air, turning gently. Then she pulls her arms in tight to her chest. Suddenly, without pushing off the ice again, she spins faster. She becomes a blur of motion. She hasn't added any new energy. She has just concentrated the energy she already had. The universe is that skater. When the first clouds of hydrogen gas formed in the dark, they were vast and lazy, drifting slowly. But gravity began to pull them inward. As they collapsed to form stars, they pulled their arms in. They shrank. And because they shrank, that ancient, primordial momentum forced them to spin. Faster and faster the clouds turned until they ignited into stars. The leftover dust around them spun into flat disks, like potter's wheels made of stone and ice. And from those spinning disks, the planets rolled into existence, like clay balls forming under the hands of a potter. So,
When you ask, who set the universe spinning? The answer is, no one had to. The spin was there in the recipe. It was there in the first quantum unevenness. It was the price of existence. This leads us to a profound realization about perfection. We often think of perfection as something desirable, flawless, smooth, symmetrical, a perfectly still pond, a perfectly round sphere. But in the language of the cosmos, perfection is a trap. If the early universe had been perfect, if the energy had been distributed exactly evenly, smooth as a mirror, nothing would have ever happened. Gravity would have pulled in all directions equally. No stars would have formed. No galaxies would have swirled. The universe would have remained a cold, featureless fog forever. We are here tonight, breathing and dreaming, because of imperfection. We are here because of a broken symmetry. Physicists believe that in those first moments, the forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the nuclear forces, were all one unified superforce, a perfect balance. But as the universe cooled, that balance broke. The forces split apart. The symmetry cracked. Imagine a pencil balanced perfectly on its tip. It is symmetrical. It looks towards all directions equally, but it is unstable. Eventually, a breath of air, a tiny vibration, causes it to fall. It chooses a direction. That fall is symmetry breaking. The universe fell. It chose a direction. It chose matter over antimatter. It chose time moving forward instead of backward. And it chose to spin. That tiny flaw in the perfection is what allowed gravity to start clumping things together. It allowed the texture of reality to become lumpy and interesting. It allowed the galaxies to form their great spiral arms. It allowed the Milky Way to dance. So, if you ever feel like your life is a little off balance, a little imperfect, a little restless, take comfort. You are just echoing the fundamental nature of creation. To be alive is to be slightly off balance. To be in motion is to be imperfect. Stillness is for the void. Movement is for the living. Scientists today are still hunting for the final proof of this first rotation. They are looking for something called B modes, twists in the polarization of the oldest light. If they find them, it'll be like finding the fingerprints of the Big Bang's first pirouette. It would prove that space-time itself was twisted by the violence and the beauty of that first expansion. But we don't need a telescope to feel it. We can see it in the way water drains from a sink. Though that is mostly the shape of the basin, it reminds us of the vortex. We see it in the shape of a nautilus shell. We see it in the curl of a fern leaf unfurling in the spring. We see it in the shape of a hurricane seen from space, a majestic white spiral over the blue ocean. Nature loves the spiral. Nature loves the turn. It is the most efficient way to pack energy into a small space. It is the shape of growth. Even the darkness between the stars might be spinning. Dark matter, that invisible substance that makes up most of the mass of the universe, forms vast halos around galaxies. These invisible clouds are rotating too, holding the visible stars in their gravitational embrace. We are floating in a sea of invisible, turning giants. And deeper still, inside the atoms that make up your pillow, your sheets, and your own skin, the spin continues. Electrons are not little planets orbiting a nucleus, not exactly. They are clouds of probability, but they carry a property that physicists literally call spin.
It is intrinsic to them.
An electron cannot stop spinning any more than it can stop being an electron. If it stopped, it would cease to be what it is. This means that at the bedrock of reality, at the tiniest pixel of existence, there is no such thing as still. There is only a vibrating, rotating energy. You are built of spinning blocks. As we lie here, letting this history wash over us, we can change our perspective on the night. The darkness of the room is not empty. It is filled with this ancient, angular momentum. The gravity holding you to the bed is the result of the Earth's mass, which gathered together because of that primordial rotation. The air you breathe is kept near the ground because of the spin. The very flow of time, which we will explore later, is entangled with this motion. The universe did not learn to move. It was born moving. It didn't have to be pushed. The push was the beginning. So, let your mind drift back to that first image. The single drop of ink in the river. The flower unfolding. The universe expanding in a great, silent breath. Feel that expansion in your own chest. Inhale slowly, and imagine space stretching out, creating room for stars and worlds. Exhale slowly, and imagine the galaxies settling into their slow, rhythmic turns. You are not just a tiny observer on a rock. You are the result of the universe's desire to dance. You are the stillness at the center of the turn. As we move forward in our story, we must ask, what did this spin actually create? We know it made the stars. We know it made the galaxies. But did it do something even more delicate? Did this great, violent, cosmic rotation somehow conspire to create the fragile, soft, breathing thing that is life? Could it be that the rotation of the Earth is the only reason we are here to think about it? The Earth spins and the winds blow. The Earth spins and the tides rise. The Earth spins and the magnetic shield hums. As you drift deeper into relaxation, let us prepare to look at our own home. Let us prepare to see how the great turn became the architect of the air, the ocean, and the dream. That is where we will go next. But for now, just feel the motion. Smooth, constant, eternal. You are safe in the spin. The breath of the world. If the earth stood still, it would be a silent, barren stone. Imagine for a moment a world without rotation. A world where the sun hangs forever fixed in the sky, a burning, unblinking eye that never closes. On that side of the planet, the oceans would boil into steam. The ground would bake until it cracked and crumbled to dust. The air would shimmer with unbearable heat, scorching anything that tried to grow. On the other side, the side locked in eternal shadow, the world would be a kingdom of ice. The oceans would freeze into solid blocks miles deep. The atmosphere would turn into snow and fall to the ground, leaving a vacuum of silence. Between the burning day and the frozen night, there would be a twilight zone, a thin ring of violent storms where the hot air clashed with the cold, a chaotic barrier where life would struggle to hold on. This is the fate of a world that forgets to spin. But that is not our world. Tonight, as you rest safely in the dark, the earth is turning.
It is this turning that allows the planet to breathe. The rotation of our world is not just a movement. It is an engine. It is a pump. It is the steady, rhythmic heartbeat that circulates energy, warmth, and life to every corner of the globe. Think of the sunrise. That moment when the light first touches the horizon is not the sun moving. It is the earth rolling you toward the fire. And as the day goes on, the earth rolls you away again into the cooling shadow of space. This cycle, the 24-hour rhythm, is the perfect tempo for life. It is short enough that the day side doesn't burn and the night side doesn't freeze. It is a gentle handoff of energy, sharing the warmth of the star with the darkness of the void. The rotation creates the Goldilocks zone, not just in space, but in time. It creates the mild morning, the warm afternoon, the cool evening. It creates the rhythm that every single living thing on this planet knows by heart. Deep inside your body, right now, in every cell of your skin and every neuron of your brain, there is a clock. It is not a mechanical clock with gears. It is a chemical clock, a tiny molecular cycle that rises and falls. Scientists call it the circadian rhythm, from the Latin circa diem, meaning around a day. You are synchronized to the spin. When the earth turns away from the sun, your body releases melatonin, the hormone of sleep, whispering to your muscles that it is time to rest, time to repair, time to dream. When the earth turns back toward the light, your body releases cortisol, waking you up, sharpening your mind for the day. If we lived on a planet that spun once every 10 hours, like Jupiter, we would be frantic, exhausted creatures. If we lived on a planet that spun once every 243 days, like Venus, we would have no concept of a day at all. But we evolved here, on this 24-hour carousel. The tempo of the Earth's rotation is the tempo of your life. You are not just living on the planet, you are living with it, in a duet that has lasted for millions of years. But the spin does more than just set your sleep schedule. It builds the roof over your head. Let us travel downward now. Let us sink through the floor, through the foundation of the building, through the soil and the rock. Let us go deeper, past the crust of the earth, past the solid mantle, down into the deep, churning heart of the world. 4,000 miles beneath your bed lies the Earth's core. It is a ball of iron and nickel, as hot as the surface of the sun. The inner part is solid, crushed by the weight of the world. But the outer core is liquid. It is a vast subterranean ocean of molten metal. And because the Earth is spinning, this metal ocean is moving. It swirls, it spirals, it churns in complex, majestic currents that we will never see. This motion is called the geodynamo. As that liquid iron spins, it generates a force. An invisible field rises up from the core, punches through the rock, through the crust, and erupts out into space, surrounding our planet in a massive magnetic bubble. This is the magnetosphere. You cannot see it, you cannot feel it, but without it, the atmosphere would be gone. The sun is a giver of life, but it is also a violent neighbor. It constantly spits out a stream of charged particles known as the solar wind. These particles are stripped atoms, traveling at 1,000,000 miles an hour. If they hit an atmosphere directly, they act like sandpaper, slowly scouring away the air, stripping the oxygen and the nitrogen into space, until only a thin, suffocating haze remains. This is what happened to Mars. Mars spins, but its core is cold. Its internal ocean stopped moving long ago. Its dynamo failed. Its magnetic shield collapsed. And so, the solar wind stripped away its air, turning a once wet and warm world into a frozen red desert. But Earth is still spinning deep inside. The dynamo is humming. When the solar wind approaches us, it hits that invisible magnetic wall. It is deflected, guided harmlessly around the planet, like water flowing around a stone in a river. Sometimes, when the solar wind is strong, some of those particles are funneled toward the north and south poles. They crash into the high atmosphere, exciting the oxygen and nitrogen atoms. And suddenly, the sky blooms. Green curtains of light ripple across the stars. Purple ribbons dance in the dark. The aurora borealis. When you see a picture of the northern lights, you are not just seeing something beautiful. You are seeing the battle between the sun and the Earth's shield. You are seeing the visual proof that our planet is alive deep inside. You are seeing the ghost of the spin protecting you. So, tonight, as you lie there, remember that you are inside a force field. You are safe. The spin is holding the shield up, keeping the air in your lungs and the vacuum of space at bay. Now, let us float back up to the surface, into the air itself. The rotation of the Earth is also the great conductor of the wind. If the Earth didn't spin, the wind would simply flow in straight lines from the hot equator to the cold poles. It would be simple, predictable, and stagnant. But because the ground is moving beneath the air, the wind curves. Imagine trying to draw a straight line on a spinning piece of paper. Your pen would trace a spiral. This is the Coriolis effect. In the northern hemisphere, it twists the winds to the right. In the southern hemisphere, it twists them to the left. This curving creates the trade winds that allowed ancient sailors to cross the oceans. It creates the jet streams, those rivers of fast-moving air high in the sky that steer the weather systems across the continents. It spins the clouds into the beautiful white swirls you see on satellite maps. The rotation churns the atmosphere, mixing the air, distributing moisture. It carries the rain from the oceans to the center of the continents. It brings the cool breeze off the sea on a hot summer day. The weather is not random chaos. It is a painting created by the rotation of the sphere. And it's not just the air. The oceans obey the spin too. The great currents, the Gulf Stream, the Kuroshio, are driven by the wind and the turn of the Earth. These currents act like a global conveyor belt, carrying warm water from the tropics to the icy north, keeping places like Europe mild when they should be frozen. The spin stirs the oceans, bringing nutrients up from the deep to feed the plankton, which feed the fish, which feed the whales. The entire food web of the planet is built on the fact that the ocean is constantly being stirred by the rotation of the Earth. It is a soup that never settles, always rich, always moving. But there is another partner in this dance of life, a silent watcher that has been with us since the beginning, the moon. We cannot talk about the Earth's spin without talking about the moon, because the moon is the reason our spin is so gentle. Billions of years ago, the Earth spun much faster. A day might have been only 6 or 8 hours long. The winds would have been ferocious, screaming constantly at hundreds of miles an hour. The storms would have been monstrous. But then came the moon. The moon's gravity pulls on the Earth. It pulls on the oceans, creating the tides. As the Earth spins beneath the moon, that tidal bulge acts like a brake. It creates friction. Over billions of years, the moon has been slowly, gently dragging on the Earth, slowing our rotation down. It tamed the wild, youthful spin of the early Earth and stretched the day into the calm, 24-hour cycle we have now. The moon acted like a calming hand on a spinning top, steadying it. And the moon does something else even more critical. It holds the Earth upright. Think of a spinning toy top. As it slows down, it starts to wobble. It tips over. Other planets, like Mars, wobble chaotically on their axis. Sometimes Mars tips over so far that its poles point at the sun. This causes wild, catastrophic climate changes that can wipe out any chance of life evolving. But Earth doesn't wobble like that. Why? Because the moon acts as a stabilizer. Its gravity holds our tilt steady at 23.5 degrees. This tilt gives us our seasons. It ensures that the change from summer to winter is predictable and mild. It allows life to plan, to migrate, to hibernate, to bloom. The moon is the anchor that keeps our spin stable. Without it, our climate would be a chaotic nightmare. With it, we have the rhythm of the seasons, the poetry of the year. So, the rotation gave us the day, the tilt gave us the year, and the interaction between them gave us the tides. Have you ever stood by the ocean and
Listened to the waves. Whoosh, hush, whoosh, hush. That sound is the sound of the Earth spinning under the water. The high tide is the ocean reaching up toward the moon as the planet turns. The low tide is the water receding, 2 times a day, every day, forever. Many scientists believe that life may have begun in these tidal pools, in the shallow waters that were wet, then dry, then wet again. This cycle of wetting and drying concentrates chemicals, encouraging them to form complex chains that might eventually become DNA. If that is true, then the spin of the Earth didn't just support life. It might have cooked it into existence. We are children of the tide. We are children of the turn. As we consider all of this, the sensation of lying in bed changes. You are not just resting in a room. You are resting inside a complex, perfectly tuned machine. The machine is huge, 8,000 miles wide. It is made of rock and iron and water and air. It is powered by gravity and momentum. And its purpose, whether by accident or design, is to keep you comfortable. It spins to keep you warm. It spins to give you air. It spins to shield you from the radiation of the stars. It spins to bring you the rain. It is easy to feel small in the universe. It is easy to feel fragile. But look at how much energy is being spent just to keep you safe. The entire angular momentum of the solar system has conspired to create this quiet moment for you. The rotation is gentle now. The winds outside your window are just the soft breath of the Coriolis effect. The darkness is just the shadow of the planet protecting you from the glare. The cool air is just the atmosphere settling down for the night. It is a system of balance, and you are the beneficiary of that balance. Take a slow breath and imagine the air filling your lungs is a gift from the geodynamo and the gravity. Exhale and feel your body sinking into the mattress, held there by the mass of the spinning world. Everything works. Everything is functioning exactly as it should. The engine is running smooth and silent. You do not need to check the controls. You do not need to steer. The pilot of this ship is physics, and it has never missed a beat
in 4.5 billion years. You can close your eyes. You can let go. The Earth has got you. It will carry you through the darkness, past the stars, and deliver you safely to the dawn. But as we drift deeper into this comfort, a strange thought arises. We know that rotation moves matter. We know it moves air and water and rock. But what happens when rotation gets too fast? What happens when the spin becomes so powerful that it stops moving objects and starts moving time? Can a spin be so strong that it bends the hours and minutes? Can rotation twist the future into the past? The universe is stranger than we can imagine. And out there, in the deep dark, there are things spinning much faster than the Earth. Things that are not just engines of climate, but engines of time. That is where we are going next. Into the realm where the clock melts and the spin dictates the flow of eternity. Chapter 4. The River of Time. We have spoken of the earth spinning to create the wind. We have spoken of the earth spinning to create the day. But now, we must leave the realm of air and rock and enter a place much stranger. We must enter the realm of the invisible fabric that holds everything together. We are going to talk about time. Usually, we think of time as a simple, straight line, a clock ticking on the wall, tick, tick, tick. Seconds turning into minutes, minutes into hours, flowing steadily forward like a river that never changes speed. We imagine that a second here in your bedroom is exactly the same as a second on the moon, or a second on the sun, or a second at the edge of the universe. But this is not true. In the deep silence of the cosmos, time is not a rigid line. It is a liquid. It is elastic. It can stretch. It can shrink. It can pool like water in a hollow. And most incredibly, it can twist. What causes time to twist? Rotation. Albert Einstein, in his beautiful, quiet equations of general relativity, taught us that space and time are not separate things. They are woven together into a single fabric called space-time. Imagine a vast, dark sheet of silk stretched out tight. If you place a heavy bowling ball in the center, the silk curves down. That curve is gravity. If you roll a marble across the silk, it curves around the bowl. That is an orbit. But Einstein realized something else. What happens if that heavy ball starts to spin? Imagine placing a spinning top on that sheet of silk. As it turns, it doesn't just sit there. It grabs the fabric. It twists the silk around it, creating a spiral of wrinkles in the cloth. This is exactly what the Earth is doing right now. As our planet rotates in the dark, it is grabbing the fabric of space-time and dragging it along. It is twisting the universe around itself. Scientists have a name for this. They call it frame dragging. It sounds technical, but the image is soft and lovely. Imagine dipping a spoon into a jar of thick golden honey. If you spin the spoon, the honey in the center spins with it. But the honey further out also starts to turn, dragged slowly by the motion of the center. Earth is the spoon. Space-time is the honey. You are not just living in a static universe. You are living in a swirling fluid of time. The space right here in your room is being gently pulled by the rotation of the planet beneath you. The time you are experiencing is being slightly, ever so slightly, twisted. For a long time, this was just a theory
a dream written in chalk on a blackboard. But in 2004, humanity decided to touch this invisible swirl. NASA launched a spacecraft called Gravity Probe B. It was one of the most beautiful machines ever built. Inside it were 4 spheres, quartz gyroscopes, polished to a perfection.
Almost impossible to comprehend. If one of these spheres were the size of the Earth, the tallest mountain on it would be less than 8 feet high. They were the smoothest objects in the universe. They floated in a vacuum, surrounded by supercooled helium, shielded from every disturbance. They were pointed at a single distant star, a guidepost in eternity. And then, the scientists waited. They waited as the probe orbited the Earth. They waited to see if the spinning planet below would drag the local spacetime and twist the gyroscopes. And it did. After a year of silence, the data came back. The gyroscopes had tilted. Not by much, just a tiny fraction of a degree, the width of a human hair seen from a mile away. But they had moved. The Earth, in its slow, heavy rotation, had dragged the fabric of the universe with it, just as Einstein predicted. It is a profound thought to hold as you drift toward sleep. The solidity of the world is an illusion. The empty space around you is not empty. It is a texture, and it is moving. You are being swaddled in a twisting blanket of time. But on Earth, this effect is gentle. It is a whisper. To truly feel the power of rotation, to see time actually break and bend, we must travel to the monsters of the dark. We must go to the dead stars. Let your mind drift away from our solar system. Float out past the quiet planets, into the deep interstellar night. We are approaching a neutron star. This is the core of a sun that died and collapsed. Imagine a star twice as heavy as our sun, crushed down until it is only the size of a city like London or Manhattan. The gravity is crushing. A single teaspoon of this star would weigh 1 billion tons. And it is spinning. When the star collapsed, it pulled its arms in tight, just like the figure skater. It spins not once a day, but hundreds of times every second. A low, terrifying, beautiful drone of motion. The magnetic fields here are so strong they would dissolve a human being into atoms instantly. But we are safe in our imagination. We can float near it. Here, the frame dragging is not a whisper. It is a hurricane. The spinning star is whipping space-time around it so violently that space itself is moving at a significant fraction of the speed of light. If you were to drop an object toward this star, it would not fall straight down. It would be swept sideways, caught in the tornado of twisted time. And here, time begins to slow down. Gravity pulls on the seconds. The stronger the gravity, the heavier the time. If you could land on the surface of a neutron star and survive for just a few minutes, hours would pass for the rest of the universe. You would be living in a slow-motion bubble. Your heart would beat, your breath would flow, but relative to the outside world, you would be frozen in amber. But even a neutron star is not the limit. There is a place where rotation conquers everything. The rotating black hole. Physicists call it a Kerr black hole, named after
Roy Kerr, the mathematician who solved the puzzle of a spinning void.
This is the most extreme object in reality. A stationary black hole is a hole in the universe, a point of no return. But a spinning black hole is a whirlpool. Imagine a vast drain in the middle of the ocean. The water rushes toward it. As it gets closer, it starts to spiral, faster and faster. Close to the center, the water is moving so fast that even a speedboat trying to drive away
would be dragged backward. A spinning black hole creates a region called the ergosphere. This name comes from the Greek word ergon, meaning work. It is a region of pure, irresistible energy. Inside the ergosphere, space itself is spinning faster than the speed of light. Think about that for a moment. Nothing can travel through space faster than light. That is the cosmic speed limit. But space itself has no speed limit. Space can do whatever it wants. And near the black hole, the rotation is dragging space around the center at impossible speeds. If you were floating in the ergosphere, you could not stand still. Even if you had the most powerful rocket engine in the universe, and you pointed it against the spin and fired it at full power, you would still be swept backward. Space is a rushing river, and you are a leaf. To stay still in the ergosphere would be like trying to stand still in time. It cannot be done. You must move. You must rotate. You become part of the black hole's dance. And in this violent swirl, time is stretched to its breaking point. Imagine you are an astronaut, floating safely far away, watching a probe fall toward this spinning giant. As the probe gets closer to the event horizon, you see something strange. It starts to turn red. The light coming from it is struggling to climb out of the gravity well. The waves of light are being stretched out, losing energy, shifting toward the red end of the spectrum. And the probe slows down. You see the clock on its side ticking slower and slower and slower. Tick, tick, tick. To the probe, everything is normal. It is falling inward. But to you, watching from the safety of the calm universe, the probe never quite crosses the line. It just fades. It becomes a ghost, frozen forever on the edge of eternity, caught in the infinite spin. This is the ultimate illusion of stillness. The probe is falling at nearly the speed of light, yet to the outside eye, it appears motionless. Motion and stillness become the same thing when time is broken. We have actually seen this. In 2019, humanity linked radio telescopes all across the Earth to create a virtual eye the size of our planet, the Event Horizon Telescope. We stared into the heart of the galaxy M87. We were looking for the shadow of the beast, and we saw it. A glowing orange ring of fire in the darkness. That orange ring is light, but it is not light traveling in a straight line. It is light that has been caught in the whirlpool. It is light that has circled the black hole, perhaps 2 or 3 times, before finally escaping to reach our cameras. We are looking at photons that have been on a carousel ride around a drain in space-time. The darkness in the center is the shadow of the event horizon, the place where the spinning river falls over the edge of the world. It is terrifying, yes, but it is also deeply peaceful. It is a reminder that the universe has limits. There are places where time stops. There are places where history piles up and never fades away. But we do not need to go to a black hole to feel the bending of time. We rely on it every day. Think of the phone in your pocket, the GPS map that guides you to the grocery store or finds your way home. That system relies on a network of satellites orbiting high above the Earth. These satellites are moving at 8,700 miles per hour. Because they are moving fast, special relativity says their time should slow down. But they are also far away from the Earth's heavy gravity. Because they are in weaker gravity, general relativity says their time should speed up. The scientists did the math. The gravity effect is stronger. Time flows faster for a GPS satellite than it does for you down here on the ground. The clocks in space tick faster than the clock on your nightstand. It is a tiny difference, about 38 microseconds a day, 38 millionths of a second. It sounds like nothing, but light travels so fast that in 38 microseconds, it moves 7 miles. If we didn't correct for this difference, your GPS would drift by 7 miles every single day. Within a week, it would tell you that your house is in the middle of the ocean. So, the engineers have to program the satellites to artificially slow their clocks down. They have to teach the machines to match the slow, heavy rhythm of Earth time. Every time you look at your location on a map, you are holding proof of Einstein's theory in your hand. You are holding proof that time is not constant. You are navigating using the bending of reality. This realization brings a strange kind of comfort. It means that time is personal. Your time is your own. The time at your feet is flowing slightly slower than the time at your head. The time in the valley is slower than the time on the mountain peak. We are not all marching to the same drum. We are each floating in our own little bubble of tempo. Tonight, as you lie still, you are in the slowest time possible. By being low to the ground, and by being still, you are letting the gravity of the earth wrap around you. You are hugging the curve of space-time. You are letting the river flow past you. There is no need to rush. In fact, rushing only changes the flow. By stopping, by resting, you are syncing yourself with the deepest, heaviest, most stable rhythm of the planet. Let the image of the fabric fill your mind. Soft, dark velvet. The earth resting in it, creating a warm, comfortable hollow. You are resting in that hollow. The planet is gently spinning, rocking.
The fabric rocking you. The stars above are spinning. The galaxies are turning. The black holes are twisting the dark. But here, in this room, the motion is just a cradle. Time is not running out. Time is just looping around, carrying you into the next moment and the next. Imagine the clock on the wall melting. Imagine the numbers floating away. Imagine the strict lines of the day dissolving into the soft, swirling honey of the night. There is no past to regret. There is no future to fear. There is only this slow, rotating present. The spin bends time, yes, but tonight it bends it into a circle of protection, a loop of rest. You are gliding through the curve. But this brings us to a question that sits at the very center of everything. We know that spin controls time. We know that gravity shapes the clock. But who controls the spin? Is there a hand on the wheel? Is there a mainspring winding it all up? Or is the motion itself the only master? If we look closely at the atoms and the planets and the stars, we find that they are all obeying a hidden set of rules, a silent agreement that keeps the universe turning. Let us go there next. Let us find the conductor of this silent symphony. Chapter 5. The Silent Watchmaker. If time is a river that bends and curves, as we have just seen, then how do we measure it? How do we build a raft that stays afloat in such a shifting, twisting current? To answer this, we must look at the nature of control. In our daily lives, we are used to things that need to be pushed. A car needs an engine. A clock needs a battery. A body needs food. We are accustomed to the idea that motion requires effort. We believe that if we stop pushing, everything stops moving. But the universe does not work this way.
The universe is the master of effortless motion. Tonight, we ask a simple but profound question. If the Earth creates our day by spinning, and the atom creates our matter by spinning, who is keeping them spinning? Who is the invisible hand turning the crank? Who controls the spin? To find the answer, we must first look at how we, humans, try to control time. For thousands of years, we looked to the sky. The sun was our clock. A stick in the ground, casting a shadow across the sand, was our technology. When the shadow was long, it was morning. When the shadow was short, it was noon. It was a simple time, connected directly to the rotation of the Earth. But the Earth, as we have learned, is a wandering spirit. It slows down, it wobbles, it speeds up slightly when earthquakes shift its mass. The Earth is a beautiful planet, but it is a terrible clock. It is too organic, too alive to be precise. So, we went smaller. We built mechanical clocks with pendulums. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Gravity pulled the weight and the gear turned, but friction stole the energy. Metal expanded in the summer heat and shrank in the winter cold. The clocks were imperfect. We needed something that never changed.
We needed a motion that was so pure, so ancient, and so isolated that nothing in the universe could disturb it. We found it inside the atom, specifically the cesium-133 atom. This is the heartbeat of the modern world. Inside this single, unremarkable metal atom, there is a single electron in the outermost shell, and that electron is spinning. It is vibrating between two energy states with a speed and consistency that is breathtaking. It doesn't tick once a second. It ticks 9,192,631,770 times. Every single second. 9,192,631,770. That is the definition of 1 second. It is not an arbitrary slice of the day. It is a count of spins. It is a count of the breath of an atom. All over the world right now, in quiet, temperature-controlled laboratories in Colorado, in Paris, in London, there are boxes, atomic clocks, sitting in the dark. They are counting this vibration. They are listening to the hum of the universe. They are the most precise machines ever built. If you started one of these clocks at the moment the dinosaurs died, 65 million years ago, it would be less than 1 second off today. This is how we control time. We anchor ourselves to the spin of the smallest things in existence. But here is the beautiful conflict. We have these perfect atomic clocks, counting perfect, rigid seconds. And we are living on an imperfect, slowing planet. Because the moon is dragging on our oceans, the Earth's rotation is getting slower. The day is getting longer. It takes the Earth just a tiny bit longer to turn around than it did yesterday. So, the atomic time and the planetary time are slowly drifting apart. The perfect machine and the wandering rock are out of sync. What do? We pause. Every few years, the scientists who guard the time do something magical. They declare a leap second. At midnight on a chosen day, the clocks of the world do not go from 23:59:59 to 00:00. Instead, they read 23:59:60. The world holds its breath for 1 extra second. We stop the march of human time to wait for the Earth to catch up.
It is a moment of forgiveness. It is a moment where we acknowledge that the spin of the planet is more important than the numbers on our screens. We adjust our rigid systems to match the gentle, slowing waltz of the world. So, in a way, the Earth controls our time. But who controls the Earth? We go back to the question of the engine. If the Earth is slowing down, it implies it was once faster. It implies it has energy to lose. Where did that energy come from? And why hasn't it run out yet? The answer lies in the most comforting law in all of physics, the law of inertia. Isaac Newton wrote it down, but the universe has known it forever. An object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction, unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. This means that in the vacuum of space, you don't need an engine. You don't need fuel, you don't need a battery. Once you are moving, you keep moving, forever, until something stops you. Imagine you are on a bicycle. On a road, if you stop pedaling, you roll for a while, and then you stop. The air hits your chest, the tires rub the asphalt. Friction steals your motion. Now imagine you are on that bicycle in deep space. You push the pedal once, just one gentle push. You begin to glide forward. There is no wind to slow you down. There is no ground to rub against. You will glide at that exact speed for 1,000,000 years. You could cross the galaxy on a single push. Spin works the same way. When the Earth was born from that swirling cloud of dust 4.5 billion years ago, it was given a push, not by a giant hand, but by the collapse of the cloud itself. That energy became the spin, and because the Earth is floating in the emptiness, there is nothing to stop it. The moon tries with its tides, but it is a weak break. The dust of space hits us, but it is like a feather hitting a freight train. So, the Earth spins because it remembers. It remembers the birth of the solar system. It remembers the violence of its creation. The rotation of our planet is a memory of motion that has been preserved for billions of years by the emptiness of space. Who controls the spin? No one. And that is the secret. There is no pilot at the controls. There is no struggle. The Earth does not have to try to spin. It does not wake up in the morning and gather its strength to turn another day. It simply surrenders to the momentum it already has. It is effortless. It is a state of being, not a state of doing. This principle of conservation of angular momentum is the guardian of the cosmos. It is what keeps the solar system flat. It is what keeps the galaxy turning. It is what keeps the gyroscope upright. It is a promise that things will keep going. It is a promise of stability. Think of the gyroscope. You have seen one, a toy with a heavy wheel in the middle. When it is still, it falls over. It is clumsy. But when you pull the string and set it spinning, it becomes magical. It can balance on a fingertip. It can balance on a tightrope. You can try to push it over, and it pushes back. It fights to stay upright. The spin gives it stability. The universe is full of these gyroscopes. Every planet is one. Every star is one. Every galaxy is one. They are all balanced in the dark, held up by nothing but their own motion. If the spin stopped, the stability would vanish. The solar system would collapse. The galaxies would fall apart. But the spin does not stop. The momentum is conserved. It is shared, transferred, but never destroyed. This means the universe is a self-correcting machine. It doesn't need external management. It balances itself. There is a deep peace in this realization. We spend so much of our lives trying to control things. We try to control our schedules, our careers, our relationships, our emotions. We feel that if we let go
Of the wheel, we will crash. We feel that we must constantly inject energy into our lives to keep them from falling apart. But look at the Earth. It has been spinning for 4 billion years without a driver. It has survived asteroids, solar storms, and ice ages, and it just keeps turning. It trusts the laws of physics. It trusts its own momentum. Maybe we can learn from this. Maybe, tonight, you can stop pedaling. You have been pushing hard all day. You have been fighting friction. You have been steering. But now, you are in bed. You are in your own personal vacuum of space. The friction of the world is gone. The demands are gone. You can engage the law of inertia. You can coast. The momentum of your life will carry you. Your heart knows how to beat without you telling it to. Your lungs know how to breathe without you commanding them. Your mind knows how to dream without you writing the script. You are a biological gyroscope. You have your own spin, your own stability. You don't need to force it. Let us expand this view one last time. If the Earth is a clock and the atom is a clock, what about the galaxy? The Milky Way is turning, but it is a clock with a hand that takes 230 million years to tick once. Physicists call this a cosmic year or a galactic year. The last time the clock ticked, 1 galactic year ago, the first dinosaurs were just appearing. The continents were fused together in the supercontinent Pangaea. Flowers did not exist yet. The Atlantic Ocean was just a puddle. 1 tick before that, life had barely crawled out of the ocean. 1 tick before that, the Earth was a snowball, covered in ice. We are so small. Our lives are just a flicker between the ticks of the galactic clock. But we are part of the clock. We are riding on the gear. And even the Milky Way is not alone. It is dancing with its neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. They are 2 giant swirls of light spinning in the dark, slowly falling toward each other. In 4 billion years, they will meet. They will not crash. They will pass through each other like ghosts, their stars missing each other in the vast spaces. They will swing around, creating long tails of light, and eventually, they will merge into one giant elliptical ball of stars. They will share their angular momentum. They will combine their spins. It will be a marriage of motion on a scale we cannot comprehend. And even then, the law will hold. The new galaxy will keep turning. The balance will be kept. So, when we ask who controls the spin, the answer is actually the balance. The universe seeks equilibrium. It seeks a state where energy is spread out, where motion is smooth. It is not chaotic. It is not random. It is a choreography that was written in the first second of time and has been playing out ever since. Everything you see, from the dust motes dancing in a sunbeam to the spiral arms of a distant galaxy, is obeying this choreography. And you are part of it. Your body is made of atoms that have been spinning since the beginning of time. You are not a stranger in this universe. You are not a passenger. You are the material of the universe itself, currently shaped into a person, currently lying in a bed, currently listening to a story. But the spin is in you. The ancient momentum is in you. Feel the heaviness of your limbs. That is gravity, the partner of spin. Feel the slow rhythm of your breath. That is the biological echo of the planetary cycle. You can trust the spin. It held you yesterday, it holds you today, and it will hold you tomorrow. You don't need to control it. You just need to ride it. The universe is the ultimate cradle. It is rocking back and forth, turning round and round. It is the original lullaby. Turn and turn and turn. And as we settle into this feeling of being carried, of being part of a machine that needs no driver, we can begin to wonder about the beginning again. We said that the spin started because of a broken symmetry. We said that perfection is stillness and imperfection is motion. But what does that really mean? Did the universe really have to break to exist? Are we all just beautiful shards of a shattered mirror spinning away from the center? And if the universe began because something broke, what happens if it gets fixed? The story of the broken symmetry is the story of why there is something instead of nothing. It is the story of why we have matter and light and you. Let us drift toward that mystery next. Let us explore the beautiful crack in the perfection that let the light get in. Chapter 6. The Beautiful Flaw. We often dream of perfection. We imagine a world where everything is balanced, where everything is equal, when nothing ever goes wrong. We think of peace as a state of perfect, unblemished symmetry. A smooth lake with no ripples, a mirror with no cracks. But the universe has a secret to tell you tonight, a secret written in the very atoms of your body. If the universe were perfect, you would not be here. If the universe were perfectly balanced, there would be no stars, there would be no planets, there would be no light, there would be only silence. Endless, empty, perfect silence. Tonight, we drift back to the moment when perfection broke. We go back to the moment when the universe made a mistake, a tiny, beautiful mistake that allowed everything to exist. We are talking about symmetry breaking. Imagine the universe in the very first fraction of a second. It was hot, inconceivably hot, and it was symmetrical. In this primal state, the forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, and the nuclear forces were all melted together. They were indistinguishable. They were one single, unified superforce. It was a time of absolute equality. Energy could turn into matter, and matter could turn back into energy perfectly. There was no here and no there. There was no past and no future. Everything was the same. It was elegant. It was mathematical perfection. And it
Was completely dead. In a perfectly symmetrical universe, there is no reason for anything to happen. If you are standing in a featureless white room that stretches on forever, there is no reason to walk left or right. There is no reason to move at all. Symmetry is a cage of stillness. But then, the universe began to cool. Just as water turns into ice when it gets cold, the fabric of the universe began to change. And as it cooled, the symmetry cracked. Think of a pencil balanced perfectly on its sharp tip. It is standing straight up. It is symmetrical. It looks the same from every angle. It is perfect. But it is unstable. Eventually, a tiny vibration, a quantum whisper, disturbs it, and the pencil falls. It falls to the north, or the south, or the west. It doesn't matter which way. The moment it falls, the symmetry is broken. It has chosen a direction. The perfection is gone, but now something has happened. Now there is a direction. Now there is a down and a side. Now there is a story. This great fall happened to the universe. As the forces split apart, gravity separated from the others. Then electromagnetism separated. The laws of physics froze into the forms we know today. But the most important break was not about forces. It was about stuff. It was about the material that makes you. In the beginning, energy created matter. But the laws of physics love balance. For every particle of matter created, every electron, every proton, the universe also created a twin, an antiparticle, antimatter. Matter and antimatter are opposites. They are like fire and water. If they touch, they annihilate each other. They vanish in a flash of pure energy, leaving nothing behind. So, in the early universe, there was a great war, a soup of creation and destruction. Matter appeared, antimatter appeared, and they collided and vanished. Flash, flash, flash. If nature were perfect, this war would have ended in a tie. There would have been exactly equal amounts of matter and antimatter. They would have all canceled each other out. The universe would have ended up empty, filled only with a dull glow of leftover light. No atoms, no galaxies, no you. But the pencil fell. For reasons we still do not fully understand, a mystery that keeps physicists awake at night, the universe displayed a tiny, subtle preference. It was slightly imperfect. For every 1 billion particles of antimatter, the universe created 1 billion and 1 particles of matter. 1 billion versus 1 billion and 1. It was a tiny imbalance, a fraction of a percent. But it was enough. The billion pairs annihilated each other. They vanished into light. But that one single particle, the extra one, it had no partner to destroy it. It was left over. It was a survivor. Look at your hand. Look at the blanket covering you. Look at the moon outside the window. All of it, every single star, every grain of sand, every drop of water, is made of those leftovers. You are the 1 in a billion. We live in a universe made entirely of the survivors. We are the result of a cosmic rounding error. We are the residue of a slight imperfection in the laws of physics. This concept is known as baryon asymmetry. It sounds technical, but it is deeply poetic. It means that existence is an anomaly. We are here because the universe preferred us. It preferred matter over antimatter. It preferred something over nothing. So, when you feel flawed, when you feel imperfect, remember that you are the child of imperfection. Flaws are not failures. Flaws are the only reason anything exists. This breakage of symmetry didn't just give us matter, it gave us mass. There is a field that permeates the entire universe, filling every inch of empty space. It is called the Higgs field. You can imagine it like a field of deep, soft snow, or perhaps a thick, invisible molasses. In the very beginning, particles had no mass. They zipped around at the speed of light, frantic and weightless. They could not stick together to form atoms. They were like ghosts flying through the void. But when the symmetry broke, the Higgs field turned on. It froze into place. Suddenly, particles had to push through this field. Some particles, like photons, light, slipped through effortlessly.
They stayed weightless and fast. But other particles, like electrons and quarks, got bogged down. They felt the drag of the snow. They became heavy. They gained mass. Because they became heavy, they slowed down. Because they slowed down, gravity could grab them. They could clump together. They could form atoms. Without this invisible resistance, without this drag, you would not have a body. You would be a swarm of light flying apart at cosmic speeds. You exist as a solid being because the universe is thick with this invisible field. You are anchored by the Higgs field. It is holding you together, slowing you down enough to be real. And the evidence for this broken perfection is painted across the sky. When we look at the cosmic microwave background, that baby picture of the universe we spoke of, we see that it is almost smooth, but not perfectly smooth. There are tiny lumps, tiny variations in temperature, 1 part in 100,000. Those lumps are the seeds of the galaxies. If the early universe had been perfectly smooth gas, gravity would have pulled evenly in all directions. Nothing would have collapsed. The gas would have just sat there, expanding forever, a thin, boring fog. But because there were tiny flaws, tiny spots where the gas was just a little bit denser, gravity had a place to start. It grabbed those dense spots. It pulled more gas in. The rich got richer. The dense spots became clouds. The clouds became stars. The stars became galaxies. Every galaxy is a scar in the perfect smoothness of the early universe. Every star is a monument to unevenness. Even deep down in the strange world of quantum mechanics, we see this handedness, this preference. In the 1950s,
Brilliant physicist named Chen-Xiang Wu, known as the First Lady of Physics, conducted an experiment. She looked at how cobalt atoms decay. Everyone assumed that nature didn't care about left or right. They assumed that if you watched the atoms in a mirror, the physics would look the same. But Wu found something shocking. The particles preferred to fly out in a left-handed direction. They ignored the right. It was as if the universe itself was left-handed. This discovery shattered the idea of parity, the idea of mirror symmetry. It proved that the universe knows the difference between left and right. It has an orientation. It has a bias. We see this bias in life, too. The molecules that make up your body, the amino acids, are all left-handed. In a lab, you can make right-handed amino acids, but life on Earth refuses to use them. Your DNA spirals to the right. Why? We don't know for sure, but it seems that the broken symmetry of the Big Bang echoed down through 13 billion years, influencing the spin of the atoms, the swirl of the galaxies, and finally, the shape of the double helix inside your cells. You are twisted, literally. Your biology is a spiral that follows the ancient, invisible direction of the cosmos. There is something incredibly soothing about this. We strive so hard for balance in our lives. We want to balance our work and our rest. We want to balance our emotions. We want everything to be symmetrical and fair. But the universe tells us that balance is static. Balance is stillness. Life happens in the imbalance. Life happens in the tilt. The seasons happen because the earth is tilted. The winds blow because the air pressure is uneven. The rivers flow because the land is not flat. The heart beats because of a difference in electrical charge. Everything that moves, moves because it is seeking a balance it will never find. And that is a good thing. If it found it, the movement would stop. The story would end. So, tonight, embrace the asymmetry. Feel the way your pillow is slightly cooler on one side. Feel the way your body settles into the mattress, heavy and real, held there by the Higgs field. Feel the flow of time, moving forward, never backward. Another broken symmetry, another arrow pointing the way. You are a beautiful collection of broken symmetries. And just as the universe is held together by invisible fields, there is something else holding the galaxies together. Something we cannot see. Something that outweighs all the stars in the sky. We have talked about the visible universe, the matter, the light, the spin. But all of that is just the foam on top of the ocean. The real ocean is dark. When astronomers count the stars and measure their spin, they find a problem. The galaxies are spinning too fast. By all the laws of physics, they should be flying apart. The stars on the edge of the Milky Way are moving so quickly that they should be flung out into the void, like water spinning off a bicycle tire. But they stay. They are held in place. There is not enough visible matter to hold them. The gravity of the stars is not enough. The gravity of the gas is not enough. There must be something else, something huge, something heavy, something invisible. They call it dark matter. It is a ghost. It passes right through you, right through the earth, right through the sun without touching anything. It doesn't reflect light. It doesn't cast a shadow. It only does one thing. It pulls. It provides the extra gravity that keeps the galaxies safe. It is the invisible shepherd of the stars. Imagine looking at a distant city at night. You see the lights of the houses and the street lamps, but you don't see the ground. You don't see the mountains the city is built on. You don't see the steel girders inside the skyscrapers. Dark matter is the mountain. The stars are just the porch lights. We are living in a universe that is mostly shadow. And this shadow is not scary. It is structural. It is the scaffolding. Without it, the beautiful spiral of the Milky Way would dissolve. Without it, our sun would drift away into the lonely dark. We are being held by a mystery. As you lie here, you can imagine this dark matter as a vast, invisible cocoon. It surrounds our galaxy. It surrounds our solar system. It is a presence that is felt but never seen. It is the silent weight that anchors the spinning world. It reminds us that there is so much more to reality than what we can see with our eyes. We see the light, but we rely on the dark. We see the symmetry, but we live in the break. The universe is not what it seems. It is deeper, stranger, and more supportive than we realized. It is a place where mistakes become stars. It is a place where invisible ghosts hold the sky together. It is a place where you are the 1 in a billion survivor, the golden child of the great annihilation. You belong here. You fit into this puzzle. Your mass is borrowed from the snowfield of the cosmos. Your atoms are the winners of the ancient war. Your spin is the echo of the first fall. So let yourself fall now. Not like the pencil, tipping over into chaos, but fall like a feather, drifting down into the soft, heavy comfort of sleep. Let the gravity pull you. Let the Higgs field hold you. Let the broken symmetry of time carry you forward, away from the day, into the quiet, unbalanced, beautiful night. Everything is as it should be. The flaws are the foundation.
And as we settle into this realization, we can begin to wonder about the nature of this invisible darkness. If dark matter holds the galaxies together, and if rotation shapes the stars, could these cosmic forces have done something even more specific? Could the spin of the universe have decided the shape of life itself? We know that our DNA is a spiral. We know that the molecules of life are twisted to the left. Is this just a coincidence? Or is it a signature? Is the shape of your biology a map of the universe's history? That is
a question waiting for us in the next chapter. The link between the spin of the galaxy and the spiral of life. Chapter 7. The Invisible Anchor. The universe is full of ghosts. Not the scary kind, not the spirits of the dead, but the ghosts of gravity. Huge, silent, invisible shapes that drift through the dark, holding everything together. As we lie here tonight, safe in our beds, we are going to explore the greatest mystery in the sky. We are going to find out why the stars don't simply fly away. Imagine a child's merry-go-round in a park. It spins and spins. If you put a handful of loose sand on the edge of it and give it a hard shove, what happens? The sand flies off. The centrifugal force throws it outward, scattering it into the grass. The faster it spins, the harder it is to hold on. Now, imagine a galaxy. A galaxy, like our own Milky Way, is a merry-go-round of unimaginable size. It is 100,000 light-years wide, filled with hundreds of billions of stars, all spinning around a central core. For a long time, astronomers assumed that galaxies rotated slowly, lazily, just fast enough to balance the pull of gravity. They assumed that the stars on the outer edges, the quiet suburbs of the galaxy, would move slowly, just like the distant planets in our solar system move slower than the Earth. But when we finally built telescopes powerful enough to check, we found something impossible. The galaxies are spinning too fast. They are spinning with such ferocity, such incredible speed, that by all the laws of visible physics, they should have torn themselves apart billions of years ago. The stars on the edge are moving just as fast as the stars in the middle. The sand should have flown off the merry-go-round. The Milky Way should be a scattered mist of lonely stars drifting into the void. But it isn't. It is a perfect, tight, graceful spiral. It is holding its shape. Why? Tonight, we honor the invisible hand that holds us. We explore the mystery of dark matter. The story begins in the 1930s with a Swiss astronomer named Fritz Zwicky. He was a man of big ideas and sharp eyes. He was looking at a distant cluster of galaxies called the Coma Cluster, a swarm of islands of light drifting deep in the cosmos. Zwicky measured how fast these galaxies were swarming around each other. He calculated the mass of their stars, and he did the math. The visible matter, the shining stars, the glowing gas, was not enough. It wasn't even close. There was not enough gravity in the visible light to hold the cluster together. The galaxies were moving so fast they should have escaped each other's grip and flown off into the dark. Zwicky realized there must be something else there. Something heavy. Something invisible. He called it Dunkel Materia, dark matter. For decades, his idea was just a whisper, a curiosity. Until a quiet night in the 1970s, when an astronomer named Vera Rubin sat at a telescope at the Kitt Peak National Observatory in Arizona. Imagine the scene. The desert night is cold and still. The dome of the telescope is open to the black sky. Inside, only sound is the hum of the tracking motors and the scratch of a pen on paper. Rubin was studying the rotation of spiral galaxies. She was measuring the speed of the stars. She expected the speeds to drop off at the edges, but night after night, galaxy after galaxy, she found the same flat line. The outer stars were rushing through space at breakneck speeds, locked in step with the inner stars. It was as if the visible galaxy was embedded in something else, something huge. Imagine a snowflake caught in a clear glass marble. The snowflake is delicate, white, and intricate, but the marble is solid, heavy, and clear. You can see the snowflake, but you can't see the glass. Yet, when you roll the marble, the snowflake moves with it. The snowflake doesn't fly apart because it is held inside the glass. Our galaxy is the snowflake. Dark matter is the marble. We now believe that the Milky Way is not just a flat disk of stars. It is floating inside a massive, invisible sphere called a dark matter halo. This halo extends far beyond the furthest stars. It is a vast cocoon of unseen mass. This cocoon provides the extra gravity needed to bind the stars. It is the cosmic glue. It is the scaffolding. Without it, the sun would drift away into the lonely intergalactic night. Without it, the Earth would not have a galaxy to call home. There is something deeply comforting about this. We often feel like we only believe what we can see. We trust the light. But the universe is telling us that the most important things, the things that hold us together, are the things we cannot see. We are supported by the invisible. Dark matter passes right through you. It flows through the roof of your house, through your body, through the bedrock of the earth, as if we were made of mist. It does not interact with light. It doesn't reflect, absorb, or emit. It is the ultimate ghost. But it has weight. It has gravity. If you could wear special glasses that allowed you to see gravity, the night sky would look completely different. The Milky Way would not be a thin streak of light. It would be a colossal, glowing sphere, filling half the sky. We would see that the stars are just the tiny decorations, the Christmas lights, strung up on a massive, invisible tree. We are the minority. The normal matter, the protons, neutrons, electrons, stars, planets, you, me, the dog, the car, the ocean, all of that makes up less than 5% of the universe. 5%. 27% is dark matter. The rest is dark energy, which is a mystery for another night. This means that for every 1 pound of normal stuff, there are 5 pounds of shadow stuff. We are the foam on the ocean. Dark matter is the water. But how do we know it's really there if we can't see it? We know because it bends the world. Imagine looking through the bottom of a wine glass at a candle. The flame looks distorted, stretched, maybe even split into 2 images. The glass bends the light. Mass bends space.
And because dark matter has mass, it acts like a giant lens. When astronomers look at distant clusters of galaxies, they see something beautiful and strange. They see arcs of light. They see streaks and rings. This is the light from even more distant galaxies, far in the background, passing through the dark matter of the foreground cluster.
The dark matter is warping the space, bending the light like a funhouse mirror. By measuring this distortion, scientists can map the invisible mountains. They can draw contour maps of the ghost. In 2006, we captured the most famous ghost of all, the Bullet Cluster. Two massive galaxy clusters had collided. They passed right through each other. The visible gas, the normal matter, slammed together and slowed down, heating up and glowing pink in X-rays. But the dark matter just kept going. It didn't collide. It didn't feel friction. It passed through the crash like a phantom and came out the other side. We saw the separation. The normal matter was stuck in the middle, but the gravity, the bulk of the mass, was on the sides. It was the smoking gun, proof that the shadow universe is real. So, what does this mean for us, lying here in the dark? It means that the universe is far more stable than it looks. It means there is a safety net. We live in a galaxy that is spinning at 500,000 miles per hour. That sounds terrifying. It sounds chaotic. But we are anchored. The dark matter halo is a heavy, steady hand, calming the storm, holding the structure in place. It is the reason galaxies can merge and form larger galaxies without scattering their stars to the winds. It is the reason structure exists at all. Computer simulations show us that in the very early universe, dark matter formed first. It created the web. It formed vast, invisible filaments stretching across the cosmos. The normal matter, the gas, just flowed into these valleys of dark matter. The dark matter was the riverbed. The gas was the water. The stars were born where the dark matter was thickest. We are here because the dark matter gathered us. We are the children of the shadow. As you breathe in slowly, imagine this invisible presence not as something cold or alien, but as a scaffold, a structure. Your house has beams inside the walls that you cannot see. You trust them. They hold the roof up. You don't need to look at the studs and the rafters to know they are there. You feel the shelter. Dark matter is the timber of the universe. It holds the roof of the Milky Way up. It keeps the walls of the galaxy vertical. It creates the shelter where the sun can burn and the earth can spin, and you can sleep. There is a humility in this. We used to think we were the center of the universe. Then we learned we were orbiting the sun. Then we learned the sun was just one star among billions. Now we know that even the stuff we are made of, atomic matter, is just a rare dust sprinkled on a sea of dark matter. We are the decoration. But that makes us precious. The universe built this massive, invisible, heavy structure just to hold the tiny, shining jewels of the stars. The darkness serves the light. And just as the galaxy has a hidden structure, perhaps your rest does too. Sleep is a kind of dark matter for the mind. You cannot see your dreams clearly while you are awake. You cannot measure what happens to your consciousness when you drift off. It is an invisible time, a time of shadows. But just like the dark matter holds the galaxy together, sleep holds you together. It is the invisible scaffolding of your sanity. It is the heavy, silent anchor that keeps your memories from flying apart. It is the gravity that binds your days together into a life.
You spend a third of your life in this shadow world. Do not fear it. It is the structure. Without the dark quiet of sleep, the bright spin of your waking life would be too fast. You would scatter. So, enter the halo. Let the dark matter of sleep wrap around you. It is a heavy blanket. It passes through you, calming the vibrations of the day. It slows the spin. Imagine yourself floating in the center of that great, invisible sphere. The stars are far away, tiny points of light. You are held in the velvet grip of the gravity, weightless yet anchored, drifting. The mystery of what dark matter is, whether it is WIMPs, weakly interacting massive particles, or axions, or tiny primordial black holes, doesn't matter tonight. The scientists will hunt for the particle in their underground labs, deep beneath the mountains of Italy and South Dakota, waiting for a single atom to nudge. But for us, the mystery is enough. It is enough to know that the emptiness is not empty. It is full of support. The universe is not a fragile thing that will break if you touch it. It is tough. It is reinforced. It is built to last for trillions of years. And because the universe is tough, you are tough. You are built on a foundation that cannot be shaken. So, let the galaxy spin. Let it whirl at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Let the solar system race through the void. You don't have to hold on. The dark matter has got you. The invisible hand is cupped around the Milky Way, protecting it, guiding it, keeping it whole. You are safe in the speed. You are safe in the dark. But as we let go of the large scale, as we let the galaxies drift away in our mind's eye, we must zoom back in. We must look closer. We have seen that the universe has a preferred spin, a broken symmetry. We have seen that it has a hidden structure holding it together. Now we must ask, did this cosmic spin reach down and touch the tiny, fragile molecules of life? If the galaxy spins, and the solar system spins, and the particles spin, did that motion twist your DNA? Are you a spiral because the universe is a spiral? That is the question of the next chapter. The mystery of the hand of life. The spiral of life. Hold up your hands in the dark. You can't see them clearly, but you know they are there. You know that your left hand and your right hand are different. They look the same, 4 fingers, 1 thumb, a palm, but they are not the same. If you try to put a left-handed glove on your right hand, it doesn't fit. If you try to slide your right hand into a left footprint in the sand, it feels wrong. They are mirror images. They are opposites. This simple fact, this difference between left and right, is one of the deepest mysteries in the universe, and it is the secret to why you are alive. Tonight, we look inward, deep into the microscopic spiral staircase that lives inside every cell of your body. We are going to look at your DNA. You have seen the pictures, the double helix. It is a beautiful, twisting ladder, coiled around and around like a spring. But have you ever noticed which way it twists? If you were to climb that ladder, turning and turning, you would always be turning to the right. Every strand of DNA in every human being, every animal, every plant, every bacteria on Earth twists to the right. It never twists to the left. And the building blocks of your body, the amino acids that fold together to make your muscles, your skin, your enzymes, they are even stranger. They are all left-handed. In the language of chemistry, this is called
chirality, from the Greek word for hand. Molecules can be built in two shapes, a left-handed version and a right-handed version. They have the exact same atoms, the exact same weight, but they are mirrors of each other. If you mix chemicals in a beaker in a laboratory, nature produces a 50-50 mix, half left, half right. It is a perfect balance. But life chooses. Life on Earth is homochiral. It is one-sided. It strictly uses left-handed amino acids and right-handed sugars. It ignores the other half. It is as if, billions of years ago, biology made a choice. It chose a direction, and it has never looked back. Why? Why are we twisted? Why do we spiral in only one direction? To find the answer, we have to go back to the stars. We have to go back to the spin. We suspect now that the shape of your DNA was not decided on Earth. It was decided in the cold, dark clouds between the stars, long before our planet was even born. Imagine a vast nebula, a nursery of stars, a cloud of gas and dust light years wide. In the center of this cloud, massive young stars are igniting. They are burning hot and blue, pouring out intense ultraviolet light. But this light is not simple. As it travels through the dust, and as it passes through the magnetic fields of the cloud, something happens to it. The light begins to spin. It becomes circularly polarized. Imagine a beam of light that corkscrews through space like a drill bit. Because the star is rotating and the dust cloud is rotating, the light twists. It spirals through the darkness. Now, imagine that floating in this cloud are tiny grains of ice and dust. On these grains,
Molecules are forming, the ancestors of amino acids. The dust is a cosmic chemistry set. When that twisting, corkscrewing starlight hits those molecules, it acts like a filter. Because the light is spinning in one direction, say to the right, it tends to destroy the molecules that twist the wrong way. It breaks them apart. But the molecules that twist the correct way, the left-handed ones, are safe. They survive. Over millions of years, the spinning light purifies the cloud. It destroys the balance. It leaves behind a cloud filled with only left-handed seeds. This is the starlight theory. It suggests that the asymmetry of life comes from the asymmetry of the universe's light. We are not just made of stardust. We are shaped by star spin. The rotation of a galaxy, twisting the magnetic fields, twisting the light, eventually twisted the molecules that became you. But how did those molecules get from a distant nebula to the Earth? They took a taxi. A rock. In 1969, a fireball roared through the sky over Victoria, Australia. It exploded, raining down stones near a town called Murchison. The air smelled of methanol and hot asphalt. Scientists rushed to collect the stones. They were black, charcoal-like rocks, older than the Earth itself. They were carbonaceous chondrites, pristine leftovers from the birth of the solar system. When they analyzed the Murchison meteorite in the lab, they found something that changed our understanding of the universe. Inside the rock, they found amino acids, the building blocks of life. They had formed in space. And when they checked the chirality, the handedness of these space rocks, they found a surprise. There was an excess of left-handed molecules. The rock had brought the bias with it. It is a breathtaking thought.
Imagine the early Earth 4 billion years ago. A hot, barren ocean. No life, just water and rock. And then, from the sky, rains a dust of meteors. This dust is rich with the seeds of life, and those seeds have already been pre-sorted by the stars. They are already left-handed. When life began in those tidal pools, it used what was available. It used the left-handed bricks because the sky had delivered them. So, your body is a library of cosmic history. The spiral of your DNA is a monument to the spiral of the light that shone 5 billion years ago. The twist in your proteins is a memory of the twist in the nebula. You are woven into the universe in the most literal way possible. You are not separate from the spin. You are a continuation of it. This spiral pattern repeats everywhere we look. It is the sacred geometry of nature. Look at a seashell, the nautilus. It grows in a perfect logarithmic spiral. As the creature gets bigger, it builds a larger chamber, turning and turning, following a mathematical curve that never changes. Look at a sunflower. The seeds in the center are arranged in 2 sets of spirals, weaving together. Look at a hurricane, a massive storm spinning over the ocean with a quiet eye in the center. Look at the galaxy itself. Why does nature love the spiral? Because the spiral is the shape of growth. It is the shape of something that is moving and expanding at the same time. A circle is a closed loop. It comes back to where it started. It is static. But a spiral is a circle that is going somewhere. It is a circle that is climbing. It is the perfect balance between stability and change. Your DNA is a spiral, because life is a story that is always being written. It needs to copy itself, but it also needs to evolve. It needs to turn, but it needs to rise. The spin gives us direction. If the universe had been perfectly symmetrical, if the light hadn't twisted, maybe life would never have chosen a side. Maybe the chemistry would have been too messy, too confused to organize into complex cells. Maybe the bias was necessary for the structure. Just as gravity needs a clump to start a star, biology needed a bias to start a cell. So, as you lie here, feel the twist inside you. It is not a chaotic twisting. It is a gentle, orderly coiling. It is the shape of a fern unfurling in the forest. It is the shape of water draining from a basin. It is the shape of the path the Earth traces around the sun as the sun flies through the galaxy. A giant corkscrew through space. You are a spiral, inside a spiral, inside a spiral. And this brings a deep sense of belonging. You are not an accident that happened on the Earth. You are a pattern that emerged from the universe. The same laws that wind the galaxy wind your chromosomes. The same angular momentum that spins the pulsar spins the electron in your heart. There is no out there and in here. There is just one continuous flow of motion. Let this idea relax you. You don't have to invent your own direction. The direction is already built into you. You flow with the current of the cosmos. Imagine a river. The water flows, and where there is a rock, it forms a little whirlpool. That whirlpool has a shape. It spins. It holds its form for a while, but it is not separate from the river. It is the river, just moving in a circle for a moment. You are that whirlpool. You are a momentary, beautiful swirl in the river of energy.
And just as the whirlpool eventually slows down and rejoins the straight flow of the river, so too does all motion eventually seek rest. This brings us to the twilight of our story. We have talked about the beginning of the spin. We have talked about the power of the spin. We have talked about the life that comes from the spin. But physics has one more law, a law that is perhaps the most melancholy and the most peaceful of them all. Entropy. Things wind down. The spinning top eventually wobbles. The coffee gets cold. The star runs out of fuel. The universe is expanding, and as it expands, it is getting quieter. Will the universe forget how to spin? Will there come a time when the great merry-go-round finally stops? When the galaxies unwind and the stars
Go dark, and the last black hole evaporates into the void. And if the motion stops, does time stop too? We are approaching the end of the journey now. We are moving toward the heat death of the universe. But do not be afraid. In the language of sleep, heat death is just another name for eternal rest. Let us drift forward, billions of years into the future, to see what happens when the spinning finally slows down. Chapter 9. The Long Fade. There is a rule that governs every machine, every star, and every beating heart. It is the rule of the winding down. Nothing spins forever. A top eventually wobbles and falls. A wheel eventually comes to a stop. A fire eventually turns to ash. We often fight against this slowing. We see it as a loss. We wind our clocks, we fill our tanks, we drink our coffee. We are obsessed with keeping the motion going. But the universe knows better. The universe knows that slowing down is not a failure. It is a destination. It is the natural, beautiful state of returning to peace. Tonight, we look far into the future. We look past the sunrise of tomorrow, past the next century, past the life of the sun itself. We are going to watch the universe slowly, gently, forget how to spin. It is already happening. Right now, beneath your bed, the earth is hitting the brakes. It is a very soft brake. It is the moon. As we spoke of before, the moon pulls on our oceans. It drags a bulge of water across the planet. This dragging creates friction against the ocean floor. It is a low, constant resistance. It is costing the earth energy to push that water around. And because energy must be conserved, the earth pays the price. It pays with its speed. Every century, the day gets longer by about 1.7 milliseconds. 1.7 milliseconds. It is less than the blink of an eye. You will never notice it in your lifetime. But the clocks notice. The coral reefs notice. Ancient fossils show us that hundreds of millions of years ago, a year had over 400 days, because the days were much shorter. The dinosaurs lived in a world that spun faster than ours. We are living in the slow lane, and it will get slower. As the Earth slows down, it pushes the moon away. It transfers its angular momentum outward. The moon is drifting away from us at a rate of about 1.5 inches per year. It is a slow, sad, beautiful goodbye. If we wait long enough, billions of years, the Earth will slow down so much that it will eventually tidally lock with the moon. This means the Earth will stop turning relative to the moon. One side of the Earth will always face the moon, just as one side of the moon always faces us. The moon will hang frozen in the sky, never rising, never setting. On the other side of the world, the moon will never be seen. The tides will stop. The great breathing of the ocean
will finally settle into a stillness. The engine of the coastlines will shut down. This is the future of our home, a quiet, locked embrace. But this slowing is
happening everywhere. Look at Mercury. It is so close to the Sun that the Sun's gravity has almost stopped its spin completely. Mercury rotates only 3 times for every 2 orbits. It is a sleepy, stumbling world. Look at Venus. It spins backward, and so slowly that a day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. It has almost entirely succumbed to the drag. The solar system is a machine that is slowly wearing out its gears. The gravity is smoothing out the imperfections. The chaos is turning into order. And order is quiet. Let us cast our minds even further out, to the galaxies. We picture galaxies as vibrant, spinning pinwheels, but astronomers have found galaxies that look different. They call them elliptical galaxies. They are not flat spirals. They are big, fuzzy, round blobs. They look like clouds of bees. These galaxies have forgotten how to dance. Often, these are formed when 2 spiral galaxies collide. The Milky Way and Andromeda will crash in about 4 billion years. It won't be a violent crash. The stars are too far apart to hit each other. But the structure will be destroyed. The beautiful spiral arms will be scrambled. The organized rotation will become random. The angular momentum will be redistributed. The 2 great disks will merge into a single, giant, sleepy ball of light. The spin will fade into a random swarm. Astronomers call these galaxies red and dead. The blue stars, which are young and hot, die out. Only the red stars, the old, cool embers, remain. The galaxy stops making new stars. It just coasts. It becomes a retirement home for suns. This is the destiny of the Milky Way: to become a soft, glowing ember in the dark, to stop spinning and start floating. And what of the black holes, the engines of time? Even they are not eternal. Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest minds of our species, predicted that black holes leak. They emit a tiny, faint radiation, Hawking radiation. Over timescales that are impossible to write down, numbers with 100 zeros, the black holes will evaporate. They will spin slower and slower, shedding their mass and their memory into the void, until finally they pop and vanish. The knots in space-time will untie themselves. The wrinkles will smooth out. This leads us to the final, ultimate concept of physics, the end of the story: entropy. Entropy is a measure of disorder, but you can also think of it as a measure of sameness. Imagine a cup of hot coffee in a cold room. There is a difference, heat versus cold. Energy flows from the hot cup to the cold air. The air warms up, the coffee cools down. Eventually, they reach the same temperature, room temperature. The flow stops. The motion stops. The universe is a cup of coffee. It started with the Big Bang, infinite heat. It is expanding into the cold vacuum. Eventually, everything will be the same temperature. The stars will burn out. The gas clouds will dissipate. The black holes will evaporate. The light will stretch until it is invisible radio waves. There will be no hot spots. There will be no cold spots. There will be no reason for energy to move from place A to place B. This is called the heat death of the universe.
It sounds scary, doesn't it? Death. But let us rename it. Let us call it the Great Calm. It is the state of maximum relaxation. It is the state where the universe has finally finished its work. There is no more striving. There is no more burning. There is no more spinning. Everything is distributed perfectly evenly. The symmetry that was broken at the beginning is finally restored at the end. The pencil that fell stands back up, or rather, it dissolves into the table. In this distant future, time becomes meaningless. If nothing changes, if every atom is sitting in a bath of uniform radiation, then how can you measure time? A clock needs a moving hand. If the hand stops, time stops. So the end of the universe is the end of time. It is the eternal now. For a consciousness like ours, which is always rushing, always worrying about the next minute, the concept of a timeless universe is the ultimate peace. It is the Sunday afternoon that never ends. Imagine lying in a boat on a lake that is perfectly still. The water is glass. The sky is grey and soft. There is no wind. There is no current. You are just drifting. You don't know if you have been there for an hour or a year, and it doesn't matter. That is the future of the cosmos, a drifting silence. We are not there yet. We are living in the exciting, noisy, spinning era, the stelliferous era, the era of stars. But deep down, the universe is longing for that rest. Every time a star burns fuel, it increases the entropy. Every time you breathe, you increase the entropy. We are all helping the universe get to its final bed. We are agents of relaxation. So, when you feel tired tonight, you are just obeying the second law of thermodynamics. You are aligning yourself with the destiny of the sky. Your body wants to reach equilibrium. It wants to stop moving. It wants to cool down. It wants to stop processing information. It wants the silence. Don't fight it. The universe has been working toward this moment of stillness for 13.8 billion years. Let the image of the slowing wash over you. See the earth turning slower, the days stretching out into long, lazy hazes. See the moon drifting away, becoming a small, polite star in the distance. See the sun turning red and dim, glowing like a gentle nightlight. See the galaxy softening, the sharp spiral arms melting into a cozy, round fluff. The energy isn't gone. It is just resting. It is spread out. It is a blanket now instead of a fire. There is a Japanese phrase, mono no aware. It means the pathos of things. A gentle sadness at the passing of time, but also an appreciation of its beauty. The cherry blossom is beautiful because it falls. The spin is beautiful because it slows. If the earth spun forever at the same speed, it would be a machine. Because it slows, it is a story. You are part of that story. Your day had a beginning, a middle, and now an end. The frantic spin of the morning has faded. The work is done. The energy has been spent. Now is the time for the heat death of the day. Let your thoughts slow down. They don't need to spin anymore. Let them drift apart like the stars of a dying galaxy. Let the connections loosen. A thought about work, let it drift away. A thought about tomorrow, let it drift away. A thought about yourself, let it soften. You are entering the quiet era. The gravity of sleep is taking over. It is pulling you toward the event horizon.
And unlike the black hole, this is a horizon you want to cross. On the other side, there is no time. There is only the deep, restorative suspension of the self. In the far future, some physicists theorize that even protons, the building blocks of matter, might decay. They might fall apart into light. If that happens, then physical matter itself is temporary. We are just light that has been knotted up for a little while. We are just energy that decided to play dress up as a person. And eventually, we will untie the knot and go back to being light. It is a return to the source. So, tonight, practice that return. Untie the knots in your shoulders. Untie the knots in your forehead. Untie the knots in your stomach. Be like the light, weightless, timeless. The spin is ending. The ride is coming to a stop. The operator is turning down the music and dimming the lights. The carousel is slowing. Round and round. Round and round. Stop. But here lies the final question, the one that lingers in the silence. If everything stops, if the motion ends, does the universe remember that it once danced? Is there a record? Is the history of the spin written down somewhere, etched into the nothingness? Or are we the memory? Are you, the dreamer, the only place where the universe keeps its diary? As we drift into the final chapter, let us ask if consciousness is the mirror that keeps the universe alive, even after the lights go out. Chapter 10. The Memory of the Dance. We have traveled a long way together tonight. We have stood on the spinning deck of the Earth. We have floated near the event horizon of black holes. We have watched the galaxies dance and the stars fade. We have asked how and why and when. But now, as the silence of the night deepens around you, there is only one question left. It is the question that stares back at you from the mirror. It is the question that hums in the quiet of your own mind. What are you? Are you a spectator watching this cosmic show? Are you a passenger sitting in the dark theater, watching the screen of the universe? The laws of physics suggest something much more intimate and much more beautiful. They suggest that you are not watching the movie. You are the screen. You are the light. You are the film itself. Tonight, we end our story by realizing that we are the universe,
remembering its own motion. Let us look inside you one last time. You feel still. Your breathing is slow. Your eyes are heavy. But inside the cathedral of your body, the dance continues. Every atom in your blood is spinning. The protons in the center of those atoms have spin. The electrons buzzing around them have spin. The molecules that carry oxygen to your brain are vibrating, twisting, folding. You are made of motion. Explore. In physics, there is a law called the conservation of angular momentum. We've talked about it as the rule that keeps the Earth turning, but it applies to the small things too. Momentum cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred. This means that the spin of the electrons in your hand is not new. It was not created when you were born. That spin was borrowed. It was passed down from the food you ate, which got it from the plants, which got it from the sun, which got it from the gas cloud that formed the solar system. The vibration in your chest right now is a direct continuation of the vibration of the Big Bang. You are not a new event. You are an ancient current. You are a 13.8 billion-year-old wave that has temporarily taken the shape of a person. And what about your thoughts? What about this quiet voice in your head listening to these words? Neuroscience tells us that a thought is an electrical signal. It is an ion, a charged particle, moving across a membrane in a neuron. It is movement. It is a spark jumping a gap. Every memory you have of your childhood, every dream you have for the future, every feeling of love or worry, it is all choreography. It is matter dancing. If the universe stopped moving, you would stop thinking. Consciousness is not a static thing. It is a flow. It is the music made by the motion of matter. So, when we say, the universe is spinning, we are also saying, the universe is thinking. And right now, it is thinking you. There is a famous phrase by the astronomer Carl Sagan. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. It sounds like poetry, but treat it as physics. Imagine the early universe. It was blind. It was hot gas and dark matter. It obeyed the laws of gravity perfectly, but there was no one to appreciate it. There was no one to feel the wind or see the stars. It was a performance without an audience. But the universe is restless. It loves complexity. The gravity pulled the gas into stars. The stars cooked the gas into heavy elements, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. The stars exploded and scattered those elements. The gravity gathered them again into planets. And on at least one blue planet, the chemistry became so complex, so twisted, so spiraling, that it woke up. It opened eyes. It built telescopes. It looked up. When you look at the stars, it is not a human looking at a ball of gas. It is the universe looking at itself. The atoms in your eye are catching the photons from the atoms in the star. It is a reunion. You are the universe's strategy for memory. Without
You, the motion would still happen. The galaxy would still spin. But it would be unobserved. It would be anonymous. By creating you, the universe has created a witness. You are the memory card of the cosmos. But does the universe have a memory outside of us? When a star dies, is its spin lost forever? Albert Einstein gave us a haunting answer. He told us that memory is written in geometry. When a massive object spins, like a black hole or a neutron star, it creates ripples in the fabric of space-time. These are called gravitational waves. Imagine a boat moving on a quiet lake. Long after the boat has disappeared over the horizon, the wake, the waves, are still rippling across the water. They tell the story of the boat. They are a memory of its motion. The universe is full of these waves. Every time black holes collide, every time stars explode, they send shivers through the fabric of reality. These shivers travel forever. They pass through the earth. They pass through you. Right now, space is stretching and squeezing a tiny, tiny bit because of things that happened a billion years ago. The history of the universe is not gone. It is encoded in the shape of space itself. The vacuum is not empty. It is a recording. It is vibrating with the echoes of every spin that ever happened. We are building detectors, giant lasers in tunnels, like LIGO and Virgo, to listen to these echoes. We are trying to play back the tape of the cosmos. We are hearing the chirps and hums of the dark universe. So, nothing is ever truly lost. The motion creates a wave, and the wave lasts forever. This is a comfort for our own lives. We often worry that our time is short. We worry that our efforts are forgotten. We worry that when we stop moving, we disappear. But physics says, no. You have mass. You have energy. You move.
Therefore, you disturb the universe. You leave awake. Every step you take shifts the earth slightly. Every breath you take changes the atmosphere. Every thought you have moves an electron. You are writing your story into the physical structure of reality. You cannot be erased. The universe will carry the memory of your spin long after you have stopped spinning. And this brings us to the final act of the dance, the act you are preparing for right now. Rest. If life is the universe waking up to notice its motion, then sleep is the universe remembering its stillness. We need both. We need the day to spin, and we need the night to float. Think of the astronaut in orbit. When they look out the window, they see the Earth turning. It is bright, dynamic, colorful. But when they look the other way, into the deep space, they see the infinite calm. You are that astronaut. All day long you have looked at the Earth. You have dealt with the noise, the speed, the color. Now you are turning your head. You are looking into the deep. You are reconnecting with the background of the universe. In deep sleep, your brain waves slow down. They change from the fast, choppy beta waves of the day to the long, rolling delta waves of the night. These delta waves are like the ocean swell. They are slow. They are synchronized. They are the rhythm of a mind that has let go of the details and returned to the source. When you sleep, you are not leaving the universe. You are becoming more in tune with it. You are dropping the illusion of separation. You are dropping the name, the job, the schedule, the worries. You are just becoming biology and physics. You are becoming a quiet planet orbiting a warm star. Let us practice that return now. Feel the bed beneath you. That is gravity, the oldest force. The force that gathered the dust to make the earth. It is holding you. Trust it. You don't have to hold yourself on the bed. Gravity has never failed. It will not drop you. Feel the warmth of the blanket. That is thermodynamics, the conservation of energy. Your body is a little furnace, generated by the spin of atoms, keeping you warm against the cold of the room. You are a self-sustaining star. Feel the dark behind your eyes. That is the void, the canvas upon which all light is painted. It is not empty. It is full of potential. It is the place where dreams are born. You are perfectly safe. You are perfectly supported by the laws of nature. The universe has worked for 13.8 billion years to create this exact moment. It exploded, it expanded, it cooled, it swirled, it gathered, it evolved, just so you could lie here in this soft place and close your eyes. This moment is the destination. The spin brought you here, and now the spin can slow down. Imagine the Earth slowing its rotation, slower and slower. Imagine the galaxy relaxing its spiral arms, drifting. Imagine the atoms in your body slowing their vibration, cooling, calming. You are entering the great calm. You are no longer a separate thing fighting the current. You are the current. You are the river of time, and tonight, the river is flowing into a wide, still ocean. Drift. There is no more need to understand. There is no more need to measure. The equations are solved. The variables are balanced. $E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass. Motion equals stillness.
You equal the universe. Everything is one. As you slip away, remember that you are not going into the dark alone. You are joining the choir of the silent stars. You are joining the rhythm of the tides. You are joining the long, slow breath of the cosmos. You are the universe remembering to rest. Good night, traveler. Good night, watcher. Good night, star stuff. The academy is closed. The lights are dimmed. The lesson is over. The only thing left is the spin, and even that is fading into dreams.